First video of 2025. I've been pretty quiet lately because I'm getting ready to retire from my job. In actually less than a week, I won't have a job and I'll be looking for a house. So all my collection right now is currently in boxes, so it's kind of hard to make any content. So I didn't quit YouTube or anything, it's just I haven't been buying a lot of stuff because I'm getting ready to be looking for a house in the crazy market. And I wasn't even planning on making a video right now, especially with so close to leaving. I'm really busy doing a lot of stuff, trying to get out of the job I'm in and into another job. But I made one of the craziest impulse trades I've ever done. And it was completely on a whim. It was like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. I decided to do this trade. I was visiting one of my friends for the last time before I moved out of the state, and he had some pretty cool consoles that I wanted to go home with. So let's check them out. So right here, I have two LaserActive units. They're both the same unit, they do the same thing, but I was only gonna get them as a set. He wasn't gonna part with them separately. However, the way they're set up right now, they won't play the same games. One is set up for Sega, and the other one is set up for Turbografx 16. And how that works is what's called these packs right here. This is a Sega Genesis and Sega CD pack, and this one over here is a Turbografx 16 pack. It also came with another pack, which is a karaoke pack that will play karaoke. And all I need to do to change the configuration of the console is hit the center button, which pops out the pack. This is the Sega pack. This is the karaoke pack. Slide that in there. Now it's a karaoke machine. So you only need one of these units, but it is nice to have one set up for Sega Genesis and the other one set up for your Turbografx 16 at the same time. Now they also make other packs for the PC Engine and the Mega Drive as well. So if you wanted to play some import games, there's packs for those as well. I also think there's some really rare PC pack you can get for it that's really rare and hard to find. As you know, I'm going for the complete NES complete in box library currently, but this was not a cheap trade, and I ended up setting myself back a little bit in my NES collection to obtain these consoles. So to get these units, I traded a complete in box Power Blade 2, a complete in box Kid Klown, and a rougher copy complete in box Bonk's Adventure. In exchange, I got these two units along with all three of the packs that came out in the US, and the Turbografx 16 pack is the rarest and most expensive in the lot, and it also came with a proper LaserActive remote. It came with a turbo pad to be able to play the Turbografx 16, and it came with a LaserActive Sega Genesis controller, which will play the Sega CD and the Sega Genesis games. It also came with a whole bunch of LaserActive movies, so I can watch movies like Back to the Future. It came with laser karaoke discs, so I could sing some karaoke if I wanted to. And it came with its own LaserActive games. So I plugged the Sega Genesis one back into this console right here, and the Sega Genesis pack will play the Mega LD games. Right up here it says Mega LD, you'll see this yellow square up here. And the Turbografx 16 one will play the LD-ROM 2 games, which you'll see this green square right here. So you have to have the certain pack to play the appropriate games. So the games that I got that the Turbografx 16 pack will play are Manhattan Requiem, Vajra, I think is how you say it. This is like a robot shooter. And they even had educational games like this Quiz Econosaurus. The Sega Genesis pack that plays the Mega LD games, those games are Road Prosecutor, which this is a very uncommon game. So most of the ones you'll find are called Road Blaster, which is the Japanese version. This is the US version called Road Prosecutor, which is very, very hard to find. Then we have Pyramid Patrol, Rocket Coaster, Melon Brains, High Roller Battle, Hyperion, I Will, The Story of London, Space Berserker, The Great Pyramid, Ghost Rush, and Triad Stone. It did come with another game called Don Quixote, but I had already sold that one. I plan on keeping the rest of these, but we'll see how it all plays out. So these units are really awesome. With all the packs, you can play the LaserActive games, LaserActive movies, regular CDs, you can play Sega Genesis, Sega CD, you can get an adapter to play Sega Master System, and you can play Turbografx 16, Turbo CD, and Karaoke discs, all on the same unit. These discs are insanely huge. Look at that thing. Just for reference, this is a normal CD right here. So I'll power it on here, and I got two buttons up here. One is a CD button, one is a laser disc button. So if I just want to play a CD, I'll hit the CD button, and I could simply pop in a CD and play it right there. And if I hit the laser disc button, I can play these big bad boys on it. Both of these units have been recapped and they're fully functional, and the guy who owned them previously had greased the belts inside the unit every single year, so these are really well taken care of. And your controllers will plug right into the pack of the front of the console. So the actual LaserActive games that came with the unit aren't the greatest games in the world, but it doesn't really matter because you have the whole Sega Genesis library, the Sega CD, the Turbografx 16, and the Turbo CD. You have that whole library of games that you can play. But we'll check out a couple games, one for each. We'll go with Road Prosecutor for the Mega LD. This game feels like you're playing in a movie, you're in a car, and it's all reaction based. It'll give you some arrows, and as soon as they pop up, you have to hit the arrow in that direction, or the turbo, or the brakes. And if you're not quick enough and you gotta be quick, then you wreck. Like I said, it's not the greatest game, but it's pretty interesting to have it for the system. And to beat this game, it would take a while because you gotta learn the patterns, and it does not have unlimited continues. And from what I understand, there's no emulation for any of these games, although I did see in Japan they did release a couple of the Laserdisc games on the Nintendo Switch. Next up, we'll check out a game for the LD-ROM 2. That game is Bajra, and I apologize if I pronounced that name wrong. In this game, you're a robot flying around. Then there's another robot that comes and attacks you and fires stuff at you, and he's flying all over the screen. So thankfully this controller has a turbo button to sit there and constantly lay fire down. But it's not easy either. Like the angles and everything, it is a pretty fun little game. They actually have a sequel to the game too, Bajra 2, but I didn't get that in this lot. I think in total for the system, there's 34 games between the Sega and the NEC packs. And I haven't got around to playing all the games yet, so I can't say that all the games are bad, but some of them, they're just not that great. Well, that's it for this out of the blue trade. I think I did pretty good in the trade overall. It does suck to have to go back for 3 pretty heavy NES games and try to get those back. That's not going to be very fun. However, I just don't think I'm gonna find not one but 2 Laserdisc systems that have completely been refurbished in an excellent condition. I'm probably gonna keep them both, like the other guy, you know, have the Sega one hooked up and the Turbografx one hooked up at the same time. I've known about the Laserdisc for years, but I never paid any attention to it until he pulled out a Hue card, stuck it in there, and started playing it, and I was like, how can I leave this house with these units? I don't know when the next time I'm going to be able to release a video is. Like I said, at the end of the week, I'm moving across the country. I'm not going to have a house right away. So hopefully the next video I'm making is me setting up the new game room. But if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, I'm Gamer Wayne, and thanks for watching.